Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, Loyalty Program Boom, Why the Time is Right for Brands like McDonald's. My name is Jessica Shalkeski, and I'll be your presenter for the day. I work on the Paytronix team as a marketing specialist, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to talk a little bit about loyalty programs with everyone today. Paytronix serves more than 350 brands in the restaurant space, and that number is growing all the time. We provide tools and services for restaurants and convenience stores to engage with their guests through loyalty programs, gift card distribution and redemption, mobile application development, messaging services, data analytics, and online ordering. Shown here is just a sampling of our customers. It's important to note that Paytronix has no affiliation with McDonald's or any brand mentioned in this presentation unless stated. Any information regarding those brands derives from our experience with those brands as consumers or from publicly available information. Over the past year, some of the biggest brands in the hospitality and retail industries either launched or doubled down on loyalty programs. Recently, Wendy's, White Castle, and Taco Bell have all launched or relaunched their loyalty programs, and now McDonald's is testing a loyalty program as well. And it's no coincidence that loyalty programs have seen explosive growth. The NRA has identified loyalty as a key to restaurants' recovery from the pandemic, as 1 in 3 consumers said the availability of a loyalty program would make them more likely to choose one restaurant over another in the coming months. In addition to fostering the relationship between guest and brand, reward programs enable companies to communicate directly with consumers and collect invaluable data on customer behavior. So in today's webinar, we're going to talk about why the time is right to focus on loyalty. We'll go through some of our best practices for loyalty program design and share how we believe the new McDonald's program stacks up to these design principles. So why loyalty and why now? As we mentioned, we're seeing several large brands announce these new programs. According to some data from us at Paytronix and our partners at payments.com, we found that restaurant customers who belong to a loyalty program spend 2 times as much as those who do not, and that nearly half of all restaurant customers now use their restaurant's loyalty and rewards programs. So it seems like a no-brainer that having a loyalty program is a great way to reach out to these consumers and encourage them to increase their visits and therefore their spend with you instead of your competitors. What we see is that successful, highly impactful programs have 3 important attributes in common: a high penetration rate, the ability to deliver a material business impact, and complete executive buy-in. And there are 3 key ways that loyalty can make a big impact in turbulent times like these. Whether people are fearing a recession or not, many customers are experiencing financial difficulties over this past year. And so the first way that loyalty can make a big impact is monetary, by providing cost savings for the customer and incremental visits and spend for the brand. There's also communication, and finally, customer feedback and informative data collection. So first, thinking about the monetary benefit. Loyalty programs are proven to drive incremental spend and visits, which is more money for your brand and a positive ROI. But what about from the customer's perspective? As we know, the economy has seen some turmoil lately, and if we look back to the recession of 2008, what we saw were some interesting trends in customers' attitude toward loyalty when they're a little bit wary of both the economy and their personal budgets. Back in 2008, when consumers became price conscious, they viewed loyalty programs as a sort of antidote to the hard times that allowed them to use rewards to stretch their budgets, kind of like a new age coupon. 46% of millennial consumers that were surveyed at the time said that rewards were more important during the recession, and 32% of the general population also considered rewards more important. Given this belief, 27% of millennials were actively looking to enroll in more rewards programs, and 75% of businesses reported either a neutral or positive impact on their penetration rate as a result of the economy. One really interesting number here is this 35% figure that's kind of on the right-hand side of the slide. Our Paytronix data from that time shows that during the recession, the top 8% of guests at one large fast casual brand, and this top 8% was defined as those who came twice per month before the recession, they continued coming at that rate during the recession as well, and they accounted for a whopping 35% of overall business during the crisis. So obviously that's huge. When we interviewed those customers, they told us that they felt invested in the brand and that they had actually dropped other brands in order to keep up with the one that they were loyal to. It was a trend that we found reached across our client base, that those who had invested time and resources into their customers were rewarded with loyalty. There's also communication. Loyalty programs give brands the ability to communicate directly with customers, either through their phone or their email inbox, rather than using broad advertisements and hoping the message will get through. Plus, with the data collected through loyalty programs, brands can segment customers based on their behavior and personalize that communication so that it's especially relevant and will resonate with the customer. And what kind of impact can a loyalty program have? Easy way to think about it is through the acronym EAT, which stands for enrollment, activity, and triggering. Increasing any one of these things can increase the overall impact of the loyalty program. And if you look at it this way, if you're able to increase the amount of guests that you enroll by 20% and also increase their spend by 20%, overall the loyalty impact to your top line revenue is going to be a 4% increase. The first step of EAT is enrollment. It seems like an obvious necessity, especially for new programs, but enrolling new customers is critical throughout a program's lifetime. Members will inevitably leave for a variety of reasons, so success relies on consistently adding more members than the program is losing. The key to a high level of enrollment is to make it as easy as possible for the customer with multiple points of entry, whether that's mobile apps, text to enroll, NFC loyalty, or website enrollment, in addition to any traditional method like with a cashier at the register. Executive buy-in is also critical when it comes to enrollment. The cashiers are a brand's ambassadors as they see and speak with customers daily. So brands whose leaders do not value the program will struggle to get their employees excited about enrolling new customers. The next step is activity. Activity may depend on enrollment, but program success depends on activity. The more customers use the program, the more likely they are to understand its value and choose that brand over the competition. Plus, active customers who regularly identify themselves as loyalty members provide the brand with invaluable insights on visit cadence, average spend, and purchase history. That data, when collected on a large scale, can be used to make strategic business decisions to maximize revenue. And triggering is one of loyalty's most exciting challenges. What will drive customers back for that extra visit or incentivize them to add on that extra item at checkout? The extent to which a brand can trigger incremental visits and spend is directly related to the program's impact. It's typically measured in one of two ways: through an analysis of pre- and post-program transactional data, or through target and control campaigns. Either way, effective triggers will be found through experimentation and data analysis. And we mentioned enrollment at the outset because it really is the first step to having an impactful loyalty program. The more active members you have, the more successful the program will be. So one important metric is your penetration rate, or the percent of checks associated with a loyalty program member. If the penetration rate is at or above 15%, the program makes a meaningful contribution to the brand's performance. And why is that? Well, servers are dealing with many program members each day, and they have to know the program well in order to deliver good service. Promotion of the program is embedded in the company culture. From the top of the organization down to the front line, all eyes will be on program performance. And customers are likely to overhear other customers asking about the program. When customers are highly engaged, new staff members will have to quickly learn the program as well. But if the penetration rate is low, then the results are not so great. If members of your program are generating only 5% of your brand's checks, the impact of the program is not being felt at the store level, never mind at the C-suite. The results at this point may not be material. If only 5% of your guests are spending an additional 20% per year, the impact is almost imperceptible if you look at the top line. Other programs may be causing your CRM initiatives to take a lower priority position among corporate initiatives as executive teams seek methods for improving the business. If customers infrequently interact with the program, then your servers may not learn or value it, so service dealings involving the program may suffer. And if servers, your program's best ambassadors, are not frequently promoting the program, then guests do not learn about it and are not motivated to join. And when new servers join the team, teaching them about the program will become a low priority. As transactions are increasingly moving off-premise, letting your customers know about how to enroll digitally is also increasingly important because you can't rely on the staff to communicate the value. So whether it's during the online order flow or on an app or website, replicating on-premise conversations through digital communication is key to keeping that penetration rate high. But what makes a good penetration rate? You want to hit 15% in the first year of your program so that you can start to see the benefits. A penetration rate between 15 and 20% would be considered good, but excellent performance can come from having a penetration rate between 25 to 35%, and top-tier performance is really any rate over 35%. We've seen brands who we work with who have really prioritized their program go as high as 70% of a penetration rate with their loyalty program. For your program to have the most impact, you also want to consider program design. There's 3 common elements that make up every rewards program: your core program, your layered program, and promotions. Your program should reflect your unique brand persona and create a program with layers that reinforce your brand's value proposition. The core program is the heart of the program. Its features will attract guests to join and ultimately to visit, and there are several different options for types of core programs. You could have an automatic reward program where guests will earn points for each dollar spent, and once they meet a defined threshold, those points are converted into a reward. After earning a reward, their point values would be reset to 0, and they would begin to earn points towards the next reward. Or another format could be something called bankable points, where guests are able to accumulate points and redeem them for rewards of their choosing. With every dollar spent, guests earn points that are tracked and stored in their personal account. And as the point balance grows, they can redeem for a reward that they would value. Or there's discount programs where guests can receive price reductions on their purchases, like a 10% discount might apply to an entire purchase or to specific items. Layered programs give a program depth and a distinctive flair that strengthens a connection to a brand. These could be programs that donate back to a charity, reward guests on their birthday, or even include subscription-type memberships. Promotions enable the marketer to further influence guest buying behavior. These can be limited-time offers, point multiples, or buy-one-get-one deals. The combination of these elements are what makes programs unique and helps them reach their guests. Here at Paytronix, we have a set of design principles that can be sorted into 4 categories. These are principles that we've developed over many years working with many brands. So this is what we think will help you make a successful program. Well, we won't go through all of the principles today. I've picked out just one from each category to highlight as we take a look at McDonald's new program. The first is simplicity. You want to make sure the program is simple for servers and for guests that are participating in the program and easy for them to articulate. You also want to make it easy for guests to enroll in the program and make engagement easy for them. You also want to design a program that will target your silver customers, because when you take a look at those silver customers, they're likely in your 50th to 90th percentile of guests. Anyone above that percentile is likely going to come in anyway, but these silver customers are the ones that are going to move the needle the most. You also want to take a look at having a 4 to 8% core program value. What this means is the reward that customers are seeing based on the spend amount to get a reward. In terms of the give back, the sweet spot is around 4 to 8%. Anything less than 4%, and people may not see the value in joining the program, and you may not want to do more than 8% in your core program because you want to leave room for other offers and promotions. So you don't want to give too much away with that core reward. We also find that it's better to give small and frequent rewards rather than large and infrequent. If they're too large and too difficult to earn, it may seem unattainable to guests and discourage their involvement. And then finally, engagement. Staying in constant communication with guests through standard campaigns and communication is great for every program to keep engagement high. McDonald's core program is very straightforward. You earn 100 points for every $1 spent and continue saving and accumulating those points if you want to wait for more valuable options. You can earn points by placing mobile orders in their app, but they also provide a numerical code that you can give at the drive-thru when placing an order and a QR code in the app to scan if you go inside. So taking a look at that first program design principle, keeping the program simple. Does the new McDonald's program do this? Yes, we do believe that it does. After downloading the app, it is very easy to enroll in the program and start earning points. They've also kept it easy to track your points in the app and present you with daily deals and limited time offers. The next design principle is that 4 to 8% core program value. McDonald's has 4 different point buckets at 1,500, 3,000, 4,500, and 6,000 points, and 4 items that guests can redeem for at each level. If we look at the 1,500 point category, a McChicken sandwich is $1.79, a vanilla ice cream cone $1.39, a cheeseburger at $1.69. So a cheeseburger is kind of the middle of the road for that bucket of rewards. Since you get 100 points for every dollar, you need to spend $15 to earn that reward. So that ends up being a fairly rich reward at 11.3%. And I think this is something that is fairly common when menu items are very low priced, is there may not be something that fits right in that 4 to 8% range, especially at some of these lower redemption buckets. As we move up the reward buckets, they do start to get closer to that upper range of around 8%. So overall, it's not too far off. One thing that is interesting in some of the upper tiers is that the value of some rewards may actually be less than something in a lower bucket. So for example, the Happy Meal at the 6,000 point level stood out right away because the menu price is actually less than the filet of fish. But a Happy Meal kind of feels like more to a customer because it's the full meal for a kid that gets that. It comes with a drink, it comes with the side, it's kind of all in one. So it might feel like a bigger reward that fits in at that higher bucket. The next program principle is small and frequent rewards. So how frequently, does a guest visit and how much do they typically spend when they come? If you are a single person that would go in and order maybe a value meal when you go in, you could probably redeem a reward after 2 purchases if you redeem at the 1,500 point level. 2 purchases feels like a reasonable amount of rewards. We typically say that you want to design your program for silver customers, so those in your 50th to 90th percentile of visits. While there may be some people who visit McDonald's every day and earn a lot of rewards in the program, for the bulk of their customer base, they might earn a reward maybe twice a month if they visit once a week. Where this could be a cause for concern would be if those users were only going to earn a cheeseburger 2 or 3 times a year. That would make it hard to really get engagement and activity in the program. And then finally, staying in contact through standard campaigns. This one is a little too early to tell, but McDonald's has been talking frequently about personalization and leveraging their AI capabilities. So this area would be one where I would expect to see super personalized offers and promotions as they learn more about each customer as a consumer. Some standard campaigns that don't seem to be a part of the program at the moment are something like birthday rewards. Other typical types of communications would be a "We Miss You" campaign if someone begins to lapse as a guest, or reward reminders if any points or rewards are set to expire. So is there any room for improvement with the program that McDonald's has at the moment? One area could be to include multiple ways to sign up for their loyalty program. At this point, it's still very new, and you would expect it to be absolutely everywhere. But when I visited the homepage, it wasn't very apparent, really any information about the program. This program has been talked about a ton in industry publications, but how aware is the general public that there's something new that they should be signing up for? When you limit interaction to app only, it does limit the people that you will get to interact with the program. Having some alternative ways to identify at the POS and to enroll in the program will make it easier to keep them active and engaged. One way they could do this is through NFC loyalty identification, which represents the intersection of convenient payment and guest engagement. Through this technology, retailers can provide frictionless guest experiences while capturing data and offering easy enrollment in a program. As more people are paying with either Apple Pay or Google Pay, these payments can be linked to either a pre-existing loyalty account, and if one doesn't exist, they can be prompted to enroll. This ease of sign-up is something that younger generations are really looking for when they interact with a brand. It also takes the pressure off of your staff to ask and enroll guests, as the technology will do the work for you. They might also want to consider having a place to sign up on their website. You can direct people to sign up on the website through your in-store marketing or print it on receipts as well as through your staff. And they might also want to consider texting to join. 28% of millennials want to access loyalty programs through a text link on their smartphone. And encouraging text to join can be as easy as printing text on a receipt, or again, more on-premise marketing. You can even put these in social media posts. It's very easy to kind of get that 5-digit code that you want your guests to text really anywhere that you can put any messaging. So it's a great way to get that message beyond your on-premise locations as well as you try to kind of court those off-premise guests. Another thing McDonald's may want to consider is store value. When you think about app-only programs that have succeeded, one of the most successful programs for years now is certainly the Starbucks loyalty program. And you identify by app there. But what does Starbucks do that McDonald's isn't currently offering? And that's storing value in the app. It's been well publicized that the Starbucks app at any given time holds as much money as a bank. And people aren't going to uninstall an app if they have $20 sitting in it. So this type of stored value in the app works particularly well for small, frequent purchases. And since so many customers do go to McDonald's for their McCafe's coffees, this could be a good fit to, again, increase stickiness of the app since that is the primary method of engagement at the moment for McDonald's. So just to summarize, loyalty programs can be a really effective tool for brands to reach out to their guests, whether that is encouraging additional visits, encouraging additional spend, or just interacting with them and getting to know them as consumers so that you can really create targeted and specific offers to continue that engagement. Thank you for joining us for today's presentation. If you do have any questions about loyalty programs, I would be happy to try to answer them for you or direct you to another member of the Paytronix team. You can reach out to us and visit our website, as well as other webinars that we have on demand at www.paytronix.com/webinars. Thank you.